Hey guys. Hello. Hope you're doing well on this rainy Wednesday morning. I've got Haley on today, and it's been a while since she's been on, so she's a little nervous, which is kind of cracking me up.
This is a little different than walking around showing y'all property. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I think it's because I'm on the camera for so long.
Right. Well, it's going to be
okay.
fine.
Yes.
You're just talking to me. So, I needed to work in the house today. I'm like, so we sent him on to do those things. So we thought we would talk about something that she and I do, both of us, for a living that he does not. So since he's not here today, or he's not supposed to be here anyway. So we thought we would talk about new construction and why you need an agent for it. Because, I'm sure a lot of you are like, well, you don't need an agent for that. You just go over
and take a look.
Exactly. Yeah. Just go in, you start talking to the builder rep, and, one thing leads to another. And the next thing you know, you're signing a contract and you are in the process. So we just kind of wanted to talk about the different reasons why, and the reasons that I've found over the years why I think that it's important for you to have an agent with new construction. Number one.
I don't know. It's backwards, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Number one, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't. And if you are talking to a builder that is the builder rep is trying to tell you that, somehow you're going to get a better deal by either, going through their agent or, just be leery, because I would be more leery of that sales rep, just because there are so many great builder sales reps out there that really value their relationships with agents. And if you've got someone who is trying to cut your agent out of that, I would be really leery.
Yeah. And they welcome us most of the time.
Yeah, they do.
In there, they want us in there. So
I would be concerned about their motives if they were trying to do that, because oh yeah, we don't have the lights on.
Oh, is that why it's so dark?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Hold, please. We're real professional today. I don't know what it is about this rain, but it's kind of making all of us a little sleepy and not thinking straight. Awesome. Good morning, Mom.
Oh, hey, there we are.
Okay.
That's better.
Oh, it's totally better, right? Oh, we're awake now. Good morning, Aunt Patty. Okay, so back to it. What I was saying was, I would be a little leery about builder reps if they are trying to cut your agent that you have chosen out of a deal. You need to always remember that, that builder rep, they work for the builder. They represent them. They're an employee of theirs, and they're not going to be your advocate. And I think it's just really important whenever you're building a new house or you're buying an inventory home, that you have somebody that represents you. I could go into a lot of different stories of why this is important, but I don't want this to last that long this morning. Nor do you want to sit and listen.
Well, I know one question that I get a lot is when they're talking about the inspection process, and I've heard builders say, "Oh, don't worry, it's inspected." Yeah. We inspect it, but that's not.
So when they interject and they say, "Oh, we have all of these third-party inspections that are done at all these different points." Now, I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing that they have that. It's not, and it truly is meant to make you feel better about their process. And you should feel better about it. It's good that they have those things. But that's not a third-party inspector that is hired by you. And I have found that whenever we have third-party inspections done, there's always a list of things on there that we turn over to the builder and they end up completing.
Right.
So I think it's incredibly important. Another reason why I find it important is because I can't tell you how many homes that I have gone to list that have, they were built maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. It's always right outside of that warranty period, that someone is trying to resell this home and the new buyer gets it inspected. And there's like a list of things that really and truly That's my vacuum. Dawn, can you go hit that button over there on the vacuum? We're a mess this morning.
I'm thankful for Dawn today. She's keeping us on track.
This is real life at my house, and that is my robot vac going off over there, and I don't know. I hate that thing. Anyway, so inspections on new construction. So anyway, we're reselling a home, and there's the buyer's inspector comes in, and they find a few things that are like should have been found whenever they built it. And so I'm like, did you guys have it inspected whenever you had this built? And they're like, no. You know, the builder said that they had inspections done, and I'm like, yeah, I know that they tell you that, but you know, it's been things that were obvious. Things that were, you know, built incorrectly and should have been handled and would have been caught. And so now what happens? My clients are having to pay to have, oh, you're killing me, Estelle. I know. They're having to pay to have these repairs done whenever it really should have been something that was handled by the builder when they had it built to begin with. And that is incredibly frustrating for my client then, which I get. And so inspections are a big deal. So that's, if you have an inventory home, you still want a third-party inspection before closing. If you are building from the ground up, there are multiple phases during which you're going to want to have these inspections done. And so that's an important thing that your agent would then in turn work with the builder to find the right timing and have that done throughout the process. Let me tell you about some other reasons. I mean, I think with inventory, it's truly just having somebody be an advocate for you if there is something that goes wrong. You know, we had a couple of things whenever we bought an inventory home last. You know, we went in and I was trying to measure because I wanted to get a new washer and dryer. Yeah, that was crazy. So we go in and it's, you know, we're measuring and we realized that there was a doorway that went into this closet space that was underneath the stairs. And we realized that, and mind you, I was trying to get one of these oversized ones. I will say that.
Everybody wants an oversized.
Everybody wants it. I mean, if you're going to buy a new one, you want the, anyway. So, yeah. So whenever we went to go measure, realized that not even a standard size, there's just no way that you could put it there and ever be able to open the door to the big closet space under the stairs. And I'm going, this isn't right. So we had to get the builder to move the doorway over like a good 8 inches. And, you know, there's a lot of pushback a lot of the time whenever you're trying to get things done. And it's just easier when you have an agent that is handling that and you're not bearing the frustration. The agent's bearing the frustration. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're the ones that, you know, should have that frustrating interaction with that builder rep and pushes to get it done, not you. You know, I also had, you know, they realized that they hadn't put on a lot premium. The price that they had advertised in the MLS, on the sheet, in the builder, in the model home, everywhere. All of a sudden, even though we were under contract for a couple of months on this inventory home, all of a sudden they wanted to add, was it $12,000? Oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay an additional $12,000 or we're just going to opt out of this contract and someone else will buy it over the weekend. And I'm like, what? I had already, you know, measured and purchased furniture to go specifically into this home, you know, making all of the, you know, you're dreaming, you're getting all of the things done. So I understand what it's like to be a buyer and be in a process like that. And then you know, the builder contract is written to benefit them, not benefit you. And I'm not saying that when you have an agent, you can go in and change that. You can't go in and change that. It is truly going to be written to benefit them. At the end of the day, I think it was like a $300 fee that they could pay me to opt out at any time and put it back on the market and sell it to someone else. And so, you know, I went around trying to see if I could find another house that was a resale that was going to work for us. And at the time, oh, it was, the market was super tight and I couldn't find anything else. And I was incredibly frustrated. And so I kind of was able to figure out a way to get their attention over the deal. And I got them to drop it. So I would say that an agent is probably more capable of making that argument than an individual. And so it's incredibly important to have somebody involved that knows how to and is willing to fight that for you. So that's yet another reason. If you're talking about a ground up build, there's all sorts of things involved with that. One thing is really being able to pick finishes. And, I know that you may know your style and you may be able to like pick out things on Pinterest that you truly love. And that is a huge part of the process. But, we owned a renovation company for several years, and Haley and I went on several appointments where we helped people pick granite, pick backsplash, figure out the color cabinet, how they wanted to paint their cabinets and wall paint and, all of these different things. And whenever you're building from the ground up, there are things that make sense to do through a builder. And there are things that make sense to do after the fact. And a lot of that has to do with what that particular builder is going to charge for these different things. And we've seen enough of this from a renovation standpoint to know when pricing is exorbitant or if it makes sense, and how much, it's going to cost them if they do it after the fact. So there's a process there where not only is it important to know, like, it's important to, whenever you walk into a model home, to ask how much in upgrades they have in a model home.
You would be shocked.
I will never forget. It was, and I can talk bad about it now because they're gone. But the Darling model over in the Groves, I'll never forget that. I walked in and I asked them, how much in upgrades is in this home? And the girl was like so proud and excited to tell me that they had $250,000 in upgrades in that model.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
And I'm like, it's pretty, but what I want to know is, what is a home going to look like that my client can afford to build?
Yes.
Off of that. Because, you walk into the model and you think, oh, wow, this home is beautiful. I can go and purchase this floor plan, go to the design center, spend a certain amount of money, and have a house that looks like this. And in their mind, they're thinking, well, maybe I'd spend, $30,000, $40,000 at the design center. That may make sense in their mind reasonably and be able to produce that product. But if they don't offer that stuff as like standard things, like quite a bit of it, and then truly what you're going up over that amount at the design center should be things that you just specifically love.
Right.
Like, I love this exotic granite and I'm willing to pay that much more for it.
I love the
flooring,
shower.
Yeah. Different options that they're doing that makes sense for them, that, make it their own. That's the kind of thing that you should be going up and over at the design center over, not trying to take something that is so perfectly basic and creating anywhere near the home that they saw. It's just deflating. Because that's what's so funny is, like, you can go into the model home, and then if you start looking at all their inventory homes and you realize like there's this huge stark difference in product, then that doesn't make sense. And it's a true misrepresentation in that model home. And it's important to be with someone who can point that out for you and let you know how far behind you are before you even get started. And there are lots of great builders that build in a lot of great finishes and that will not do that to you. But it's important to be working with someone who can help you
ask the right questions
and work through that process and really be able to figure out what makes sense for you, so that you don't overspend on new construction. You're already buying in a newer neighborhood that has yet to stabilize, probably has a higher tax rate because of it. It will go down later because the mud district will be able to lower after they've built out. I mean, but you're already paying top end for new construction. And if you are building from the ground up, you most certainly are doing even more so. So you've just got to make smart decisions about what you're upgrading and what you're not upgrading and how much money you spend on these things. And if you go without an agent who understands this sort of thing, you can really end up upside down. And I will tell you, if you're going to build from the ground up and you're going to do new construction like that, you need to be ready to park it for a good 5 to 7 years, because you will end up losing in a situation like that. So you just need to be working with someone who's an advocate for you and helps you get what it is that you want and helps you build a home that you love, without making a really poor financial decision. So that's why you need an agent for new construction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree.
And let me see, are there any questions over here? I guess there's no questions. Hi, everybody. If you do have any questions, please type one now and we will be happy to answer it. But otherwise, I think that kind of recaps what we were going to get into today. So please, if you were looking to do something like that, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you work through that whole process. Okay? I hope you get out and try to enjoy. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this weather.
It might be a movie day, y'all.
Yeah.
Just stay in.
Take it easy.
DoorDash. That kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Bye, y'all. Have a great day. We will see you again soon.
Were we not live?